Flipping script. Wait a second. Are you the kid with the lip? Nice cut, bro. See that? It doesn't matter if you're a loser or a nerd or a freak. All that matters is that you become badass. Hawk. Fallen. Fear does not exist in this dojo, does it? No, sensei. Pain does not exist in this dojo, does it? No, sensei. Defeat does not exist in this dojo, does it? No, sensei. Class, are you ready to learn the way of the fist? Yes, sensei! Banzai! Sorry. I always like to start out with those little fun intro videos. That right there was the introduction of Hawk in Cobra Kai Season 6. No, oh my god. Oh my, I wish we had 6 seasons. Episode 1, seasons. Oh my god. Season 1, Episode 6. That was the introduction of Hawk. Like, are you the kid with the lip? That was when he first walked out with the mohawk and all that. So that was a great scene. And the reason I chose to do that scene is because today we are going to be talking about none other than Eli Moskowitz himself. It's Moskowitz. Eli Moskowitz. That was so funny. There was at the All Valley tournament in season 1, episode 10, when they were introducing Hawk, the announcer was like, and now we have, and in the semifinals, it's Hawk. No, it's like, oh, well, I guess it's just Hawk. And then everyone's cheering, whatever, and Dimitri's like, Moskowitz. It's Eli Moskowitz. Because, Dimitri missed having Eli as his friend, as we can tell by, in season 1, after he became Hawk, he was still hanging out with Dimitri, but, by season 2, after they win the tournament, Hawk is a lot more, like you're a loser. I'm not hanging out with you, Dimitri. Like, don't be so annoying. You're a loser. I'm not a loser like you anymore. So, yeah. By the way, guys, if you are new to the channel, check that out. No, well, if you have been here before, I added some posters. If you're new here, there's some posters there. I guess it's kind of blurry, but you get the point. Some Cobra Kai posters and Karate Kid for you guys. So, check those out. And if you see these lights back here, I do some other filming. So, you can follow my other channels where I do the filming, DrewTube and Drew Reviews. The links are in the description, so make sure to check those out. But let's get to the discussion. Today we're talking about Eli Moskowitz, Hawk himself. So, now, the question I have posed today is, will Hawk seek his revenge? Now, a lot of you may be wondering, why would he want revenge? Like, he's literally Cobra Kai's top guy. He's literally, he's literally, you know what I mean? He's beat everyone up. But he hasn't actually. In fact, he's never beaten anyone up. He really hasn't. In a real fight. In a real fight. Sure, you can make some exceptions. The All Valley tournament, he won. He got to the semifinals. During the school fight, he did beat some guys. But let's do a count. I've actually, a lot of people don't notice how many times Hawk has actually lost. So, and I thought that was a very interesting road to go down to in season 2, It's weird. Obviously, I know we're going to get more Cobra Kai, but it feels like they're really, setting up Hawk's character, which is crazy to think. I don't think we've seen anything from Hawk yet. I'm not kidding. I literally don't think we saw his true potential. I think he's, the events that happened in season 1 and 2 are really gonna fuel him for season 3, and that freaking scares me because he was pretty scary in season 1 and 2. So the fact that he's gonna be even more scary and more violent and more aggressive in season 3, because that's just a fact. We're gonna get to his Hawk's track record of what's made him who he is. So let's start at the beginning. You have Kyler, Brooks, all those bullies who were picking on Hawk since day one. He flips the script, gets the mohawk, whatever, gains more confidence. Now, obviously he looks cool and all. By the way, I know some of these are very little things that, like, okay, that's not that bad, but like I'm gonna just say whatever I could think of all the times that Hawk has lost or just been hurt in some way rather than him doing the hurting, because Miguel right now has hurt a lot more people than Hawk and beat a lot more people than Hawk. Even though Miguel's not as violent and aggressive as Hawk, Miguel beat up the bullies. Miguel won the finals of the All Valley. Miguel beat Hawk in the woods, which we're going to talk about at Coyote Creek. And Miguel beat Robby. So Miguel is one of very much. But this is about Hawk. So let's get back to Hawk. Now, I'm going to go very specific. So, in season 1, he's getting bullied by Kyler or whatever. There's nothing he can do about that. He's a loser. He's just getting beat up. Well, I mean, not getting beat up doesn't make him a loser, but they think he's a loser, so they beat him up. And even when he flips the script, we don't see him actually fight until episode 10. And I know this is like, once again, I said I'm gonna say small stuff, but in episode 8, Molting, I believe that was the episode name, when Johnny was training them at that car, the old car, the junkyard, or the whatever it's called. When Johnny was training them, Hawk got bit by one of the sharks. Oh my God, I said sharks. Hawk got bit by one of the dogs that Johnny set loose. So that's the first sign. That's the first one. Hawk was the only one that we know of that got rabies shots. So he already he couldn't escape that. So he lost that. We get to the All Valley tournament. Sure, he's winning some fights and he gets to the semis, but then Robby ends up pretty much beating him. Robby beats him. Because Hawk cheated. Now we get to season 2, which, man, Hawk. Okay, so where do we start? I think we got to start with episode 5. Episode 5 was probably his first fight, I believe. Yes, I believe that was his first fight. Yes. In episode 5, we see Hawk first fighting with the Miyagi-Dos at the mall. And, first he is beating up Dimitri, obviously, he's gonna, whatever. But then we get Samantha and Robby, and Hawk gets kicked in the face by Robby. Obviously they went at oh my God, I can't talk. They went at it a little bit, but in the end, Robby got the upper hand and kicked Hawk in the face. And Hawk is on the floor, unconscious, Then we go to episode. So then they trash the dojo, whatever. We go to episode 7 when they're doing the training in the Sorry, my bad. No. I missed something. And here's something that a lot of people don't miss because they don't think it's a big deal. Also in episode 5, after the mall fight, when Daniel confronts Johnny at the Cobra Kai dojo, when Hawk and Miguel are dueling or battling, they're training, whatever, they're sparring. That's the word, sparring. Miguel beats Hawk. They could have said they could have made Hawk win just because, but they make Miguel win because Hawk is just keep losing. Every time we see Hawk in season 2 in a fight, he loses. The first fight he was in was the mall fight. He lost. Now, after that whole thing, he still loses to Miguel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then episode 7, you have they're training at Coyote Creek, and now there's some tension here. You know, Hawk is like, you want the medal? You want the medal so bad? Come and get it. Like, you know what I mean? He's like ready to fight Miguel because like he's just like he thinks Miguel's gone soft about Sam and whatever, and like he wants to win. You know, and guess what? Miguel beats Hawk, like easily. Obviously, there was a little fight, but you know, Miguel beats Hawk. You know, and Hawk's just angry. If you look at his face, like he's just angry. He's just like so mad. Now we go to episode 10, and we have yes, it's episode 10. We have episode 10, and Hawk is obviously we have the school fight, and a couple things. You know, he's like pushing kids out of his way, and he's like, yeah, and then like someone tramples into him. Then you have that kid. This is actually my favorite part. The music too, like Hallway Hellscape is the name of the song. You guys should check out that song. It's a really good song. But there's a part where one kid punches him, and the music's like, and like the kid punches him, and Hawk's just like, he like smiles and wipes the blood away from his face. Like, he knows he's gonna freaking beat up this kid. Like, that's scary. That's scary, man. You know, this dude's gotten beat up so much, but at the same time, he's feared. Like, you fear this guy. So this guy punches Hawk in the face, and he's like smiling, and he's like wiping his mouth. And then the guy comes at him, and he's like, it's like insane how fast Jacob Bertrand, who plays Hawk. First off, let's stop and give a round of applause to Jacob Bertrand. I never really watched his shows on Disney Channel. Maybe like I watched a couple minutes or whatever. I think he was Kirby Buckets, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but he was on Disney Channel. And you know, I give props to those to Peyton List and Jacob, and I just discovered that Aiden Mix, who plays Mitch in Cobra Kai, was Angus in Ant Farm, which is a show that I watched all the time, and I'm like, oh my god, he grew up so much. Like, I didn't even recognize him, you know. But then once I heard that he was from Ant Farm, I was like, oh my god, like I see it now. Like, but like it's crazy because like I haven't seen him since he was a kid in the show. So okay, back on topic. We're talking about Hawk. So now you have Hawk, who's like crazily fighting this kid, and like it's like it looks like CGI. That's how like perfect he like sinks it and throws the kid. Like, you know what I mean? It looks like CGI. You have to rewatch that scene where the guy punches him and Hawk's like, and then just like, and just throws him like, and that was the face he made. Like, and it was like, but like I know I look stupid there, but he looks like a freaking maniac, and it looks real. Like it looks real, man. So so we got the school fight, but then you got Hawk sees Dimitri, chases after Dimitri. Dimitri's running away, and then we got Hawk's punching Dimitri, who's like, and then like Hawk's kind of like in shock, and then Hawk punches and Dimitri's like wax on, and then Dimitri like waxes off and like sands the floor, you know, when Hawk kicks, and then Hawk punches and Dimitri grabs him by the arm and says no hard feelings, and that says no hard feelings, and then turns Hawk around, kicks him into the trophy case glass, like breaking the glass, and like Hawk is like on the glass, like bleeding, and then Dimitri's like, sorry, Eli. I think he said Eli, not Hawk. I think he said sorry, Eli. And like Hawk is just like Hawk's not even angry because he's hurt. You know, he just got kicked into a trophy case. So, and then you have the end of season 2, obviously, after the whole fight where Robby kicks Miguel. I hate that. Robby kicks Miguel off the balcony, and you have Hawk come out and like is obviously saddened because that's his friend. You know, he's obviously sad and emotional. And he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this just happened." And then the next time we see Hawk is we don't see him at the hospital, but we do see him with Kreese at the end, and he says, "Miguel's in the hospital because of you. If he dies, that's on you." He said that to Johnny, and then that was the last time we heard Hawk. So, there are two components to this. Hawk is going to have two vendettas that tie into one. Both these things that I'm going to talk about tie together, but we're going to start with one. The two things, first off, are how, you know, Hawk has lost so many fights, so he's going to obviously want revenge for that. Like, he's going to step up his game. Like, you know what I mean? On a karate level, he's not going to just, like, you know what I mean? He's not, on a karate level, he's going to train harder, and he's going to, like, start, like, winning these fights that he should not be losing. He should have never lost to Dimitri. Like, come on. Like, you know, Dimitri, like I know Miyagi, though, like, they teach you some better stuff, like self-defense and all that. But, like, come on. Like, he's mad. Like, we haven't seen, like, what his reaction was to losing to Dimitri, really. But, like, you know, in season 3, if he ever comes back into contact with Dimitri, like, there should be no reason why he loses, like, because he has a purpose. Dimitri's just like, oh, I won, like, but no, like, Hawk is going to, like, want revenge. He's lost to Miguel, he lost to Robby, he lost to Miguel again, he lost to Miguel. Hawk lost to Hawk. He lost to Dimitri. Like, you know what I mean? He's just lost so many times that there's a fire in him. And now that Kreese is in control, Kreese is gonna see that fire. Forget like even Kreese's influence. Without Kreese, Hawk is mad because of the fights that he lost. But now you have Kreese there mentoring him and is gonna help him fuel that fire. Help him get even more angry. While Johnny would try to say, hey, relax, man. Whoa, just take it easy, man. Drake and Josh reference for all of you Drake and Joshers. But you have Hawk, who is obviously really mad, and then Kreese is just going to fuel that fire, and Hawk is going to get even stronger and more physical and angry and violent. So I'm just, that's scary to me. That's scary. So in season 3, when we see Hawk fight, or if we see him have a confrontation with anyone, I will expect him to be a lot stronger and powerful. I want to see him win, because right now, like, I don't really see he hasn't beat anyone. Like, you know what I mean? I need to see how powerful he is. Like, if he's gonna be the villain, because obviously you're gonna have a lot of villains in this series. Look, I know they talk about having gray sides to everyone, but I think there's also a theme about balance, and you know, you need to balance it out. Hawk has been losing his whole life, honestly. Let's be honest. In season 1, he got bullied the whole time, and then, you know, he lost to Robby in the semifinals. And in season 2, he just got his ass kicked the whole time. Dimitri was getting beat up in season 1, but then he beat Hawk in season 2. You know, Hawk doesn't have anything under his repertoire. What's the word? Repertoire. I don't know how to say it. But Hawk doesn't have any wins under his belt that we've seen, at least. So I think the writers are gonna really. I think the writers know that, and I think they did that for a reason. That they wouldn't not do that for a reason. You know, they wouldn't just be like, oh, like, Hawk is just gonna lose this one because we need Miguel to do this. Like, no, they know, like, they're building the fire in him. Like, they know, like, they're thinking long term. If we make Hawk lose every fight in season 2, like, and then at the end he's training with Kreese, like, dude, he's gonna be scary, and like the audience is gonna like build that up, which I am building that up. I'm excited to see Hawk. I was not okay. I was threatened of Hawk because obviously he is very powerful and strong and physical and good at karate. But at the same time, we've never really seen him win a fight, like a whole fight. You know, like he didn't beat Miguel at Coyote Creek. He didn't even beat Miguel when they were just training, like in the dojo. And also, for the training, he got punched in the face. Remember when they each had to get punched in the face? He got punched in the face. Obviously, everyone had to do that, but at the same time, I'm just saying, he's the supposed to be this strong guy, whatever. But he's just getting beat up all the time. He's supposed to be the most threatening of Cobra Kai. And I understand there's gray sides to everybody, but at the same time, he's more the villain. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You have Kreese, who also has gray to him, but you can't tell me he's the hero or the good guy. He's not the good guy. And Hawk is not the good guy either. So you need to at least show me like a little, like, if you're gonna make him a bad guy, you can't just have him lose all the time. You know what I mean? If you're gonna, like, because they went in that direction of making him a bad guy in season 2, so they can't just have him lose all the time. And I know they're not. I know that was not their plan. I know they're doing it on purpose. It's literally like I'm not saying it like I know because I'm so smart. I'm saying because they're so smart. They're 5,100,000,000 steps ahead of me. Whatever I think of in terms of Cobra Kai series, whatever dots I connect within the series, they're connecting it 30 million centuries before me. They're just that good. So now you have Hawk in season 3. I believe whoever he comes into contact with, I believe he will win whatever first fight he encounters, and I feel like maybe at the end of the season he'll lose whatever their final fight is. But I feel like in the beginning, they're going to have him win. And now the heroes or whoever the good guys are, whether it's Samantha or Robby, will struggle against Hawk. I feel like Hawk will win because they need to set up that villain. If he loses in season 3, then I'm not going to feel threatened by him. And obviously, I'm going to binge watch it all in one night, so I won't really have time to come up with my thoughts. But at the same time, I'll still feel that way. So now to the second part of how this all ties together. There's 2 parts, and as you can tell from the thumbnail, we got Robby. Robby. Now, I feel like Hawk has more of a rivalry with Robby than Miguel. Like, I know that's kind of a far shot. That's a long shot. But let's be honest. Like, Miguel and Robby never really, like, interacted or whatever. Like, there was a real interaction between Robby and Hawk. Or not a real interaction, but there was, like, more interaction. And I guess what that comes down to is the mall fight. That was probably if Miguel and Robby had a fight or something before, okay, maybe Hawk and Robby aren't the main rivalry, but at the same time, I think they're just as much rivals as as Miguel and Robby. Because even though Miguel and Robby, obviously, they're set out like to be the Daniel and Johnny, like they're set out. They're the main rivals. Like they don't. That they hate each other really, but at the same time, you have like Hawk, who has had more interactions with Robby, and they don't like each other just as much, And I feel like Robby thinks the reason why I was saying how there might be a bigger rivalry between them is because obviously I like the Robby and Miguel rivalry more. I think it's more entertaining and all that because they faced off in the finals and whatever. But with Hawk and Robby, they had more interactions. Like, they fought in the All Valley. They had the mall fight. And also, I think Robby hates Hawk more than Miguel. And I think Hawk hates Robby more than Miguel hates Robby. I think Hawk hates Robby more than Miguel hates Robby because other than the whole Samantha thing, in the tournament, Robby and Miguel never really have whatever to, they're not really like enemies about anything. But with Hawk, he trashed the Miyagi dojo. He was picking on Dimitri, you know. Miguel didn't do that, so Robby doesn't have anything against Miguel for that. But their rivalry is just like out of like dominance, you know, like I'm the head Cobra Kai, I'm the head Miyagi-Do, let's go head to head, you know, it's just like that. So with Hawk and Robby, I believe that in season 3, I very strongly believe Hawk will seek revenge on Robby Keene for knocking Miguel off of that balcony. Because first off, a lot of factors go into this. You know, first off, you have Hawk, who's obviously lost every single fight. You have Hawk, who lost 2 of his fights to Robby Keene. Third off, Hawk and Miguel are best friends. And Robby comes in, who Hawk hates already. Hawk hates already. And Robby kicks him off the balcony. Almost kills him. He's not dead. If you guys think he's dead, then, like, come on. Like, really, realistically, they're not going to kill him. Like, there's no, like, look, I was crying, and I still cry every time that he gets kicked off there. But it's not because I think he's dead. Because I know he's not dead. Sorry, my throat hurts. But and then also, to add on to it, you have Hawk now training under Kreese. Kreese is gonna fuel that fire to Hawk to get revenge and whatever. So, I believe where Robby's gonna be at, Robby is gonna be, and I made a video about this. It's called like, what do I think will happen to Robby Keene in season 3 of Cobra Kai? Check that out. But I think with Robby, I think he's gonna go back to his delinquent ways because he's gonna have nothing else. I think he's gonna still be living with Johnny, but I feel like Johnny's gonna revert back to his ways of when he had no life. In the very beginning of season 1, he was just drinking and whatever. He had no life. Now that he has the dojo, he really has no life again. Like, that was all he had, you know? That was what brought him up. Now that it's gone, you could tell he's kind of brought back down. So with Robby, I feel like Robby's going to live with Johnny, but there's not going to be that much of a relationship because they're both going to be so depressed. You know, Robby, his own son, just kicked the person who he felt was his son, and Miguel, off a balcony. Like, come on. I also feel like with Robby's going to go back to his delinquent ways because he's depressed and he has nothing else for him. And he feels bad for what happened to Miguel, but I think he's going to go back to those ways. And I think Hawk is going to... Excuse me. I think Hawk is going to come after Robby. I really think Hawk is going to come after Robby. I'm going to get some water. Got my water. I'm good. My throat's better. Let's finish this conversation. So, with Hawk, I think Hawk is going to definitely seek revenge on Robby because of what Robby did to Miguel. And, you know, Robby's going to be back in this delinquent state because I think he has nothing else. He's depressed. So he's going back to what he knew before, you know. He had Daniel who helped him straighten out his life, but now he doesn't have that father figure in Daniel. He has Johnny, but I feel like Johnny's going to be just as broken as Robby. So, and I feel like Hawk is going to, you know, with no one's going to know. I don't even think Kreese is going to know specifically what Hawk is going to do. Like, you know, Hawk might tell him, like, I'm going to go get revenge on someone, and Kreese is like, okay. But he's not going to say, like, I'm going to get revenge on Johnny's son, Robby, and Kreese is like, oh, yeah, do that. Like, no. I think he's just going to say, like, Kreese is just going to help him defeat whoever he has to defeat, but I don't think Kreese will know who he's going after. Daniel's not going to know. Johnny's not going to know. It's just going to be Hawk and his own vendetta. It's going to be his own plan. Just take out Robby. And I think they're going to meet up and fight. We already know. Well, I mean, this isn't like this. That's like a neck, because like it's obvious. I believe it was Josh Hurwitz, one of the writers of Cobra Kai, posted on his Instagram, like, today we're filming a fight and it's gonna be epic. So like obviously I'm like, oh my god, wait, like, no, like, I was just thinking like, I think Hawk and Robby are gonna fight again. That could be the fight, but like it could be any fight. Like, it's Cobra Kai, they're gonna fight. But it's just, I'm just really curious to see who fights, because I have no idea what's gonna happen at this point. Like you know, with Sam, with Johnny, with Daniel, with Robby, with everything that's happened to them, like, I feel like the only way they're gonna fight is if like they're literally being attacked. You know what I mean? I don't think, like, if it's like not that like real life of a threatening situation, they're not gonna be the aggressors. They're not gonna really, like, you know, if the only person out of all of them who I think is most likely to fight is Robby, because of how he's like feels scared and threatened. So if Hawk comes after him, obviously Robby's gonna fight just as hard. But if someone comes after Johnny, like, I can't really see Johnny being so, like, you know, I feel like Johnny's like kind of like karate's like scarred him. And same with Daniel, and same with Samantha. You know, you could really see Samantha, how it affected her. And, you know, obviously Samantha was always good at karate and whatever, but at the same time, she was okay without it before. So I think, you know, she just realizes, like, that, like, oh my, like, I shouldn't have done this. This is too much, like, and it's just too much. So that's what I think. So back to Hawk. Hawk is definitely one of the characters I'm looking forward to most in season 3. We know he was there with Kreese at the end, and we know that only means bad things. That only means that he's just going to get worse. He's going to be more influenced badly. And, you know, I'm also curious to see if we see any of his personal life, because we did have that flashback with his mom, but that was when he was Eli. Like, what does the mom think of Hawk? You know, that would be interesting to see. And I am very curious to see who he encounters, and I believe he's going to check up on Miguel. I feel like if Robby ever did visit the hospital to see Miguel, Hawk would be there. What are you doing? Like, something like that. I could totally see that happening. There's a lot of opportunities, and I definitely feel like Hawk is... we haven't seen Hawk's potential. We haven't seen his full potential yet. We've seen him grow a lot. You know, by season 1 to season 2, he's grown a lot as a character, but we haven't seen his full potential because he has not won a fight. And I think they did that for a reason. I am pretty sure they did that for a reason. And I can't wait to see him beat our heroes in season 3. And look, do I want the heroes or the good guys to lose? No. But at the same time, when they do lose, it's more of a, like, come on, I really want them to win the next fight, you know? Like, when they fight the next time, it gives it more of a, more exciting. Like, for example, you have Star Wars The Force Awakens, the 7th movie in the Star Wars trilogy, Star Wars saga. I love Star Wars, so I like to make Star Wars references, but Star Wars and Cobra Kai are very similar. But you have Rey, who's the main hero, defeat Kylo Ren, the villain, in the first movie with no training. So it's kind of like, okay, you have 2 more movies, and then there's no stakes. You already saw her beat him, like, you know? So, but with Cobra Kai, I'm just hoping they don't make that mistake, because I think it's okay that Hawk, obviously, that it's a different situation. With Hawk losing, you know, he lost because the people that fought him were more powerful. Robby just overpowered Hawk. Miguel overpowered Hawk. Dimitri, that's a different story. I don't know. I'm happy Dimitri won that fight, but at the same time, you know, like, it was kind of like, I don't know. But I'm happy that Dimitri won the fight. But, like, you know, if they really fought, Dimitri wouldn't stand a chance. But that was kind of just like in the moment. Hawk was kind of taken off guard by the whole thing. But I really cannot wait to see him like beat in season 3. Like they we thought that he was gonna be in season 2, and yeah, he got the red mohawk. Yeah, he got more violent, but like I feel like season 3 is just gonna get more. And if they do redeem him or something, I feel like that would be at the end of the season. But I don't think they will. I think they're gonna make him the villain throughout the whole thing. I think we will see some redeeming qualities, just like we saw in episode 9 of season 2 when him and Dimitri were talking about Doctor Who, the show. We saw like the nerd in him, but I feel like this season there's gonna be no redemption. I'm leaning towards no redemption, and he's just gonna be evil. And we'll see some redeeming qualities, but I feel like overall, the Hawk will be the Hawk, and he'll be a bigger Hawk. He'll be a scarier Hawk, and he will look for the rats to feast on. I know it sounds scary, but I'm excited. So there it is. Cobra Kai Season 3 discussion. We got Hawk. I love just talking about all the characters, I'm going to talk about Miguel and Johnny and Daniel. I know everybody wants those guys to be talked about, but I also like to talk about those secondary characters. And, even though Hawk is a main character, he's not as main as, Robby or Sam, but Hawk, we talked about it for like almost 40 minutes, so he does have a very pivotal role in this show, and he is definitely going to have a significant role in season 3, because right now, Cobra Kai, well, technically, Johnny's Cobra Kai is no more. You got no more Miguel. You have no more Miyagi-Do. Who's the main guy in Cobra Kai right now? Hawk. Hawk was always second to Miguel. Sure, you could say, maybe Aisha could be in the question, but Aisha's wasn't even there with Kreese at the end, which we're going to also talk about another time. And Tori, I wouldn't say is second just yet. I feel like Hawk is more up. I mean, actually, I don't know. Tori has beat up a bunch of people, but at the same time, we know Tori only did kickboxing. But at the same time, it pretty much looks like karate. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, share with all your Cobra Kai fans. And until next time, remember, Cobra Kai never dies. Bye-bye. Caw-caw, caw-caw. The Hawk. Alright, I hear how you're saying it, and I'm not liking it. That's my favorite line from Hawk. If you guys are a Cobra Kai fanatic, you'll know that line. Season 1, episode 9.